Hey YouTube, Tom He's from Photography here, and in this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be critiquing Faisal's website. This gentleman is from Dubai, and he contacted me via my Facebook page and asked me if I could go over his website for him. I happily obliged, so now I'm going to go over his website. However, before I do, I will say my disclaimer that it is just my opinion. I could definitely be wrong. Other people may like the things I hate, and other people may hate the things I love. So, throwing that out there first. Also, I will try to rip it apart as much as I can nicely, but you only get better by knowing what you're not doing as well. And I'm guessing you want to improve, and I do definitely see improvement throughout your photography on your website, so I know there's a learning curve. Anyways, I will start. First things first, on your home page, you have music playing. I have muted it right now. I will unmute it in a second. However, I personally believe that you should just 86 your background music on your home page right now, but for the audience, this is what it sounds like. And then it repeats. So personally, I don't think you need the cheesy elevator music in the background of your home page, and it's only in your home page. So I would just cut it out. The other thing is I cannot find for the life of me how to turn it off. So either have a mute button very, very visible, or don't have music at all, because that might deter people away from your website. So anyways, I will talk about your homepage first. First, your selfies, they're cool. They're a little too James Bond-like. However, if you want to go that approach, you can. This is super blown out. So personally, if I was going to do a self-portrait and have it on my website, I would have a nice, clean, simple, classy headshot, since that's the route you might want to take. I believe on my website I have me with all my magazines, but I'm different and that suits me. So this might suit you. However, for you, I might recommend just having a nice, clean, simple headshot instead of kind of like a cockeyed James Bond shot with your car in the background. But again, that's just my opinion. Next, while I'm down here, this is a nice description. It's very passionate and revealing of your character. However, you might want to get someone to read over it and just fix a few grammatical English things, but that's your choice, but just helps to read it and get all the information from it. Next up, since we're talking about writing, is you have like Comic Sans MS here. You have a different font here, a different font here, a different font here, and a different font here. So it might make it easier to just have a little more consistency between all of your fonts on your page, because it's a little, just has a lot of inconsistency. Also with your logo, this is the only logo in your whole entire website that looks like that. This doesn't even have a logo. So again, consistency I think is going to be probably my number one thing I'll say throughout this critique. Also, if you're going to have two photos on the front page of your website, I would make them either your most recent photos you've taken or your best photos you've ever taken. Personally, I don't think these are your best. If they're your newest, nice, but if not, I would probably rethink that strategy. But yeah, they're nice photos. This is probably my more favorite of the two. However, your logo definitely completely takes away from it. So, one last thing is these links do not match up with these. So you have more folders here than you do here. And for instance, historical is actually black and white up here. So you might want to look into just making your website more consistent. But anyways, the other thing, lastly, about your homepage is your night snaps. I was really looking forward to seeing night snaps of Dubai, but I can't. I don't know. It doesn't link anywhere. And your creek photos here bring me back to your homepage. So, again, consistency. But anyways, I'll move on so this doesn't take forever. So, I will start with boats, which should be boats instead of boat, I'm guessing. So you might want to toss an end on there because you do have an S at the end of dunes and flowers. So again, consistency. Dubai isn't capitalized here and it is here. I know that's nitpicking, but it just does help with your website if it's consistent. And this header doesn't match your lava lamp neon green background. That's like bokeh. But anyways, boats, it's nice. Nothing that blows my socks off, except this is a really nice photo here, but I can't enlarge it. I can enlarge these if I would like, which is nice. However, I can't look at these. So I would say this photo right here is your best boat photo, I think. However, I think you should 86 these code things, boat 010005. It would help me more to know what is. So like, what are these boats? Are these special boats? What are these buildings? What am I looking at? I'm guessing it's Dubai, but I don't know. I seriously don't know. So maybe take a look at your codes. Next is historical, aka black and white, depending on where you're looking. They're nice shots, but again, consistency. This is one logo. This is a different logo. This was in your boat section with a different logo. This doesn't have a logo. I really like this photo, maybe because it doesn't have a logo. I'm just kidding. Well, partially. But you cannot see these people's faces. And it would be really interesting, especially since this guy looks like he's looking at you. This would be a really, really strong photo, I think. Especially because these guys are almost framed with this piece of wood. I would really like to see these guys' faces, especially since this guy probably caught you taking a photo of him. So again, maybe check out your contrast on this photo, maybe try to brighten that up if you can, but very strong image. Would be stronger if you could see their faces, I think. This is a nice photo, but again, your contrast is really, really crazy, or it was nighttime, but I'm just going to guess your contrast is a little off. Not sure. I don't really know what's historical about this, since it looks like it's new, but again, I don't know. Also, you have, this is called black and white here, and this is not black and white, so again, consistency. This is definitely not black and white, but it's nice. I don't really know what these are, so again, saying what they are would be nice. This is nice because I like the candids. Again, black and white, it's definitely not. And this is my favorite photo in this whole album. Really like this photo. However, for some reason, it's really fuzzy. It's super pixelated. So it not so nice when you zoom in. I don't know if it's just how you're editing or if you're cropping or if the file size of your website has to be small. Not sure, but it's a very strong image. I love the clouds, especially if they were not pixelated, but that's a strong image. This is a nice image, but I think it would be a little better if it was in the rule of thirds, so just move it over just a teens. But yeah, so that's the historical, aka black and white section. Night snaps you can't look at. Nature is nice, except this spoonbill. I believe it's a spoonbill. It would be nice if you said if it was. I think the focused over here because it's definitely fuzzy. And I believe this is at a zoo. Sometimes a faux pas to call it nature if it's at a zoo, because zoos aren't really nature, but that's just me. Actually, yeah. So this photo is super fuzzy. You can't even this looks like ice cream. Maybe because I just ate some ice cream, but that does look like ice cream. So again, super fuzzy. I think you cropped this a lot, and I'll say why I think you cropped it a lot later, but I definitely think you cropped that a lot. I don't think it's a super strong photo. It would have been stronger if you just went closer and didn't have to crop it. And I love this photo. This is my favorite photo you've taken that's on your website. Love this photo. Very good job. I don't care if it's fuzzy because it's sand. My shots from Antelope Canyon sometimes were a little fuzzy and I still love them. Very strong photo. Following the rule of thirds. Leading lines. Very nice work. I love the blue and the red. Might be useful to like pump up the saturation just a little in the sky so it's more blue. But yeah, very good job there. I like it. This photo, it's nice, but it is really fuzzy when you zoom in. And I really like this photo. Again, very good photo. This is probably like my top 5 on your website. However, it has 2 huge dust spots right there that are very, very, very distracting for me. So you might want to clone / repair / whatever to get those out. And the reason I think this photo was cropped because those dust spots are definitely in a different place. So you may want to look into how much you crop your photos. But I will move on to, again, consistency. These are different than up here because you have more files up here. I will go into life snaps next. And again, consistency. The logo's down there. Now it's in this corner with dust spots. And then your logo's down here again. No logo. Up in the corner. Back to the start. So again, you might want to look into where you put your logo. And like this photo is really, really nice. I really, really like this photo. I would like it more if I could zoom in and see it. And if you put it in the rule of thirds instead of right in the center of the photo. But again, that comes with time. This is a really nice photo. Again, I wish I could see it more. I really like that photo. That's a winner. And another thing I would say, just to help you with your photography, hopefully, is I would look up the rule of thirds, because this is in the center of the photo. Those are in the center of the photo. That's pretty much in the center of the photo. That's in the center of the photo. So you might want to start putting things in the rule of thirds, right about here. Sometimes it adds to your photos, sometimes it doesn't, but more often than not, it does. And also, not a single one of these photos has a logo, which is nice. I like that. This one has a completely different logo than this one. So again, just, there you go. You named it. Keep doing this. This is what I would say you should keep doing. And start editing out your dust spots. But definitely keep labeling things, because now I know you were at Jumeirah Beach. I would like to go there. That looks fun, now that I know where it is. So again, I would just say consistency things, definitely with abstract. None of these I can click on. This is more like a macro. Don't know what category that would fall in. This kind of does look abstract, but again, I cannot click on it. Second, lastly, flowers. I really like this shot. Your logo can go. Don't like that logo, especially since you have 2 different fonts and it's really, really large. However, this photo I really like because it's sharp. This flower is definitely in focus and it's sharp. So very good job. Also, this flower, because it's the one in focus, it's not centered. If it was focused on this one, I would say rule of thirds again, but this one's good. These ones are nice. However, I would say that you are definitely over editing your photos a little bit in terms of saturation and vibrancy for my taste, because whenever I see that flowers are basically glowing, which I know they don't in this case, and you lose detail in the petals, I would say you're pumping up your vibrancy a little too much, or saturation. For instance, this one, it's white, so I don't think you played with the saturation and vibrancy too much, and it's nice. It's direct, dead center in the photo, but it's nice, and your logo I won't even go into again until I hear. Your logo here, I think you put on before you edited the photo, because now your logo is orange. So again, super consistency with having a logo, not having a logo, having different logos, and now having an orange logo. So I would say my number one thing would be consistency. Next, musical, and lastly, musical. When I saw musical, I was thinking you were taking photos of a musical, and then I saw this, and it wasn't really a musical. So maybe call this instruments, or something along those lines. And I'm really interested to know what type of instrument this is, because it's a really cool looking instrument. It's like if you crossed a guitar with a old-fashioned typewriter. That's what I get from it. And I really like it, minus your logo. And again, if you just tell me what it is instead of MCL010002, I think it would be really helpful to know what this is, because I'm sure most people outside of wherever they have these instruments have no idea what this is. So yeah, nice photos. This is my favorite of this group for sure. I can definitely tell you're playing around with your depth of field, and for the audience, Faisal also got a 50mm 1.4 recently, so your bokeh is going to be so much nicer, and photos like this would be so much better. So I will go back to the start. So all in all, I think it's a great start. I would say you have some very large consistency things I would look at, between fonts and logos and sharpness of photos and clicking on photos and your folders and all that stuff. However, your photos, I think, are getting better. I think you might want to look into some of the just basic compositional things to help you start off your photos. So like when you're about to take a photo, maybe you should start thinking about, okay, how do I want to frame this? How do I want to compose it? What should my aperture be? All that stuff. Because that will help you not crop things and help you just overall with your photography, I find. Also, lastly, this yellow is outrageously distracting. I feel like I'm looking at like an Easter egg right now with the yellow and the red and the blue. So you might want to pick something a little more clean. But overall, I would say it's a good website. I would nix the music. Forgot about that. Nix the music. And yeah, I would just look at some consistency things. And just to compare and contrast, again, I'm not saying my website's right. I'm not trying to boost my website. It's just, this is how I set things up. I have a black background, so it's clean and crisp looking, in my opinion. And with my galleries, it's really simple. It's basic. I tried to make it as simple and basic as I can, so when you click on it, you can just go through the photos and just have it really, really simple. That's me, and you're you. So I will end it there. I think you did a very good job. I know you're getting better with your photos because I can see it. So I would say keep going, have fun with that 50mm, and just change some of those consistency things and maybe edit dust spots and everything else I said. But again, my opinion. And I will welcome others to share their opinions below. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you want to add anything. If you disagree or agree, I would love to know. I'm sure it will help Faisal as well. Again, I apologize if I was saying your name wrong, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. So with that, I will end it here. Again, let me know what you guys think. Faisal, let me know what you think of this. And if anyone else wants me to critique their stuff, let me know. I'll be more than happy to. And with that, I will end it there. Cheers.